The rain fell heavily across the cemetery. Michael Adeyemi stood alone beside a freshly covered grave. 3 months had passed since the accident. 3 months since his wife Amara was declared dead. Yet every morning he returned to the same place. He stared at the polished headstone bearing her name. The pain felt as fresh as the day she was buried. His knees sank into the mud as he touched the cold stone. Every day he whispered the same words. Please come back. What Michael did not know was that the coffin beneath the grave was empty, and the woman he was mourning was still alive.
3 years earlier, Michael and Amara lived in a small apartment on the Lagos mainland. The ceiling leaked during heavy rain. The furniture was old. The bills never seemed to end. Michael worked long hours as a software engineer. He believed success would eventually come. He believed their sacrifices would one day be worth it. Amara no longer believed. Every unpaid bill frustrated her. Every promise of a better future sounded the same. Slowly, hope turned into disappointment. Then disappointment became resentment. That was when Damien Okafor entered her life. Damien was a billionaire fintech entrepreneur. Powerful, connected, respected. His companies appeared in the news almost every week. His lifestyle was everything Amara dreamed of. Luxury cars, private flights, ocean view penthouses, exclusive parties. At first, she admired him from a distance. Soon, admiration became curiosity. Then curiosity became temptation. Their first conversations felt harmless. Their second meetings felt exciting. The secret relationship that followed changed everything. While Michael worked late nights chasing a future he believed in, Amara was living a second life. A life filled with luxury. A life filled with lies. The more she experienced Damien's world, the harder it became to return home. Her apartment felt smaller. Her marriage felt heavier. Her husband began to look like a reminder of everything she wanted to escape. Then Damien offered her something impossible. A completely new life. A new identity. Unlimited wealth. A future without struggle. A future without Michael. At first, the idea frightened her. Then, she started imagining it. Soon, she started planning it. Weeks later, she told Michael she needed time alone. She said she wanted a weekend trip to clear her mind. Michael supported her decision. He believed she needed rest. Instead, she disappeared. Days later, authorities discovered a burned vehicle at the bottom of a coastal cliff near Ipe. A body was found inside. The remains were identified as Amara. The investigation ended quickly. The funeral took place days later. Family members traveled from different parts of Nigeria to attend. Everyone came to say goodbye. Everyone, except the woman in the coffin. Because there was no woman in the coffin. Only a lie. Michael stood beside the grave as the coffin was lowered into the ground. His heart shattered. The future he had spent years building disappeared. For months, he lived like a shadow of himself. He barely slept. He barely smiled. He carried her memory everywhere he went. While Michael mourned, Amara began a new life. She moved into a luxury penthouse in Lekki. She changed her appearance. She changed her lifestyle. Everything looked perfect. Designer clothes, luxury vacations, exclusive events, unlimited spending. For a while, she believed she had won. Then, reality arrived. Damien slowly revealed his true nature. He monitored her movements, controlled her schedule, questioned every decision, checked her phone, controlled who she spoke to. The freedom he promised became another prison. The man who seemed charming in public became controlling in private. The expensive gifts could not replace peace. The luxury could not replace genuine love. One sleepless night, Amara searched for Michael online. What she found broke her. He still visited her grave. He still wore his wedding ring.
He still spoke about her as though she were alive. The man she abandoned was still grieving. For the first time since her disappearance, guilt consumed.
At the same time, Michael had started noticing problems with the official story. The accident investigation felt rushed. The evidence seemed unusually perfect. Something felt wrong. Unable to ignore the feeling, he hired a private investigator. The investigator reviewed every report connected to the accident. At first, everything appeared normal. Then, inconsistencies appeared. Missing records, conflicting statements, unverified signatures. Someone had worked hard to hide the truth. Weeks later, the investigator found a lead. A woman living in Lekki looked remarkably familiar. The way she walked, the way she smiled, the way she moved her hands. The resemblance was impossible to ignore. The investigator followed her for several days. Then he brought Michael a photograph. Michael stared at the picture. His hands trembled. The woman looked different, but he recognized her instantly. Amara was alive. Michael traveled to Lekki immediately. For 4 days, he waited outside the luxury high-rise where she lived. He barely slept. He barely ate. He wanted answers. On the 4th day, a black luxury SUV arrived. The passenger door opened. Amara stepped out. Alive, healthy, smiling. For one frozen moment, their eyes met. Her smile vanished. The color drained from her face. Fear replaced confidence. She turned around and ran back into the building. Michael did not chase her. Instead, he sent a message. A simple message. I buried an empty coffin. I know you are alive. That night, Amara called him. She confessed everything. The affair, the fake death, the lies, the betrayal. Nothing was hidden anymore. Michael listened quietly. Every word felt like another knife. The woman he loved had not died. She had chosen to live. Amara then revealed the truth about Damien. His control, his threats, his manipulation. She admitted she was trapped. The dream she chased had become a nightmare. Michael made a decision. Not because he still trusted her. Not because he wanted her back. But because nobody deserved to live in fear. Using his technical skills, he began investigating Damien's empire. Every night he collected evidence. Financial records. Shell companies. Hidden transactions. Secret payments. The deeper he investigated, the darker the truth became. Damien's empire was built on corruption. Michael gathered everything. Then he leaked the evidence anonymously. Journalists became interested. Investigations began. Questions spread. Government agencies got involved. Former employees started talking. Business partners became nervous. Investors began pulling out. The walls were closing in. Damien tried to stop the damage, but the truth had already escaped. His companies began collapsing. Contracts were cancelled. Partnerships disappeared. His public image crumbled. The billionaire who once seemed untouchable was losing everything. Then came the final blow. Authorities arrived at his headquarters early one morning. Employees watched in shock. News cameras surrounded the building. Damien was escorted out in handcuffs. The empire he spent years building collapsed in front of the entire country. For the first time in his life, he was powerless. With Damien gone, Amara finally left. No luxury cars, no penthouse, no designer lifestyle. Only a suitcase and regret. Days later, she stood outside the apartment she had abandoned years earlier. The building looked exactly the same. The walls were still worn, the hallways were still narrow. But now, she saw something she had never noticed before. Home. She knocked on the door. Moments later, Michael opened it. He looked older, stronger, calmer. The pain was still visible, but so was peace. Amara apologized. She admitted every mistake. She admitted her greed. She admitted her betrayal. She admitted she had destroyed the best thing she ever had. Then she asked for another chance. Michael listened quietly. When she finished, he looked directly into her eyes. He no longer felt anger. He no longer felt hatred. Only acceptance. The woman he loved no longer existed. The trust that once connected them had died long ago. Michael forgave her, but forgiveness was not enough. Some mistakes destroy more than relationships. They destroy trust. And once trust is buried, it rarely comes back to life. Michael wished her peace. Then he gently closed the door. For the second time, Amara lost him. But this time, she lost him forever. Months later, Michael rebuilt his life. The grief faded. The pain weakened. The memories remained. But they no longer controlled him. As for Amara, she carried a lesson she would never forget. People often chase what shines the brightest. They abandon what truly matters. And sometimes, by the time they realize the value of genuine love, it is already too late. The rain eventually stopped. The storm eventually passed. But some doors, once closed, never open again. The end.
If you watched this video to the end, that means you enjoyed the story. Thanks for your support. You can enjoy this type of story and better ones here on this channel because we post relatable, interesting stories here every week. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and drop a comment or feedback. Thank you, fam.